First contact and crisis. The vast expanse of space stretched out before Captain Alina Reyes as she stood on the bridge of the EDS Horizon, Earth's most advanced exploration vessel. The ship's powerful sensors probed the darkness, searching for signs of life in this uncharted sector of the galaxy. After months of uneventful travel, the crew had settled into a comfortable routine, but Alina never lost her sense of wonder at the possibility of what they might discover. "Captain, we're picking up an anomalous energy signature," Lieutenant Zhang announced, his fingers dancing across his console. "It's unlike anything we've encountered before." Alina leaned forward, her interest piqued. "On screen, Lieutenant." The main view screen flickered to life, displaying a swirling vortex of blue and white energy. At its center, a sleek, silver ship emerged, its hull scarred and smoking. It was clear the vessel had seen better days. "Life signs?" Alina asked, her voice tense with anticipation. "Affirmative," Zhang replied. "Multiple non-human biosignatures detected. They appear to be in distress." Alina didn't hesitate. "Hail them." Moments later, the view screen changed to reveal a humanoid alien with iridescent skin and large compound eyes. The alien's features were contorted in what Alina interpreted as fear or pain. "Unknown vessel, this is Captain Alina Reyes of the Earth Defense Ship Horizon. We've detected that you're in distress. How can we assist you?" The alien's eyes widened in surprise. You would help us. I am Zarak of the Lumina. We are refugees, fleeing from the Void Dominion. Our ship is critically damaged, and our people are dying. Please, we beg for sanctuary." Alina exchanged glances with her first officer, Commander Jackson. This was far beyond the scope of their original mission, but the choice was clear. "Zarak, we will do everything in our power to help you. Prepare your people for emergency teleportation to our medical bay." As the Horizon's crews sprang into action, Alina couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter would change the course of human history. Little did she know how right she was. Over the next few hours, the Horizon's medical team worked tirelessly to stabilize the Lumina refugees. Dr. Amelia Chen, the ship's chief medical officer, marveled at the aliens' unique physiology as she treated their injuries. "It's fascinating," she told Alina during a brief respite. "Their cellular structure is unlike anything I've ever seen. They seem to have a natural ability to manipulate light and energy." Alina nodded, her mind racing with the implications of this discovery. "What about their ship? Can we salvage it?" "I'm afraid not, Captain," Chief Engineer Rodrigo Torres chimed in. "The damage is too extensive. Whatever weapons the Void Dominion used, they're far beyond our current level of technology." A chill ran down Alina's spine. If these Void Dominion forces decide to come looking for the Lumina, we'd be seriously outgunned. Commander Jackson finished grimly. Alina squared her shoulders. "Then we need to get back to Earth as quickly as possible. The United Earth government needs to be informed of this situation immediately." As the Horizon set course for home, Alina spent time with Zarak, learning more about the Lumina and the threat they faced. The Void Dominion, it seemed, was a collective of aggressive species bent on galactic domination. They viewed the light-manipulating abilities of the Lumina as a threat and had launched a campaign of extermination against them. "We are a peaceful people," Zarak explained, his voice heavy with sorrow. "We had no defense against their onslaught. Billions of our kind have already perished." Alina felt a surge of determination. "We'll do everything we can to help you, Zarak. Humanity has faced its own struggles and emerged stronger. We won't stand idly by while innocent lives are threatened." As they approached Earth, the Horizon's long-range sensors detected a massive energy surge. Alina's heart sank as she realized what it meant. Red alert. All hands to battle stations. A Void Dominion warship, easily 5 times the size of the Horizon, dropped out of faster-than-light travel directly in their path. Its ominous, dark hull seemed to absorb the very light around it. They must have followed the luminous energy trail, Jackson muttered. Captain Rice, a deep, menacing voice boomed over the comm channel. We are the Void Dominion. Surrender the Lumina fugitives immediately, or we will destroy your vessel. Elena's mind raced. The Horizon was no match for the Dominion warship, but they couldn't abandon the Lumina. Then, a crazy idea struck her. Lieutenant Jung, open a channel to Earth Defense Command. Priority Alpha. Moments later, Admiral Hiroshi Tanaka's stern face appeared on the screen. Captain Rice, what's the meaning of? No time to explain fully, Admiral. Elena cut in. We have refugees aboard and are facing an imminent threat from a technologically superior force. Request immediate activation of the Aegis Protocol. Admiral Tanaka's eyes widened in shock. The Aegis Protocol was Earth's last line of defense, a closely guarded secret that even Elena wasn't fully privy to. For a moment, she feared he would refuse. Understood, Captain, Tanaka said gravely. May the stars watch over you. The comm channel cut off, and Elena turned to address the Void Dominion ship. This is Captain Reyes. We will not surrender the Lumina. They are under our protection. Then you will share their fate, the Dominion commander snarled. As the massive warship charged its weapons, Elena held her breath. Suddenly, space itself seemed to ripple around them. Thousands of satellites, previously cloaked and undetectable, revealed themselves in Earth's orbit. They began to glow with an intense, blue-white light. Before the Dominion ship could fire, beams of energy lanced out from the satellite network, converging on a single point just in front of the horizon. A shimmering, translucent barrier sprang into existence, enveloping both the human ship and the planet behind it. The Dominion's energy weapons splashed harmlessly against the shield. Undeterred, they launched a barrage of missiles, only to watch them detonate prematurely against the impenetrable barrier. By the eternal void, Zarak whispered in awe. How is this possible? Elena allowed herself a small smile. Humanity learned long ago that the best defense is one your enemy never sees coming. We may be new to the galactic stage, but we're far from helpless. As the Dominion ship continued its fruitless assault, more Earth vessels began to emerge from hiding spots throughout the solar system. Each one was unique, showcasing the diversity of human ingenuity. There were sleek, agile fighters, bulky carriers bristling with weapon ports, and stranger ships that defied easy classification. This is Admiral Tanaka of Earth Defense Command. A new voice boomed across all channels. Your aggression against our people and those under our protection will not stand. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences. For a tense moment, the Dominion ship hung in space, its weapons still trained on the horizon. Then, without a word, it turned and vanished back into faster-than-light travel. As cheers erupted across the horizon's bridge, Elena felt the weight of the moment settle on her shoulders. Earth had just announced its presence on the galactic stage in the most dramatic way possible. There would be no going back now. In the days that followed, Earth became a hive of activity. The United Earth government convened emergency sessions to deal with the implications of first contact and the looming threat of the Void Dominion. The Lumina were granted sanctuary, and teams of scientists and engineers began working with them to combine their light manipulation technology with Earth's advanced defensive systems. Elena found herself at the center of it all, briefing military leaders and politicians on her encounters. As she stood before the United Earth Council, she felt the weight of history on her words. Distinguished counselors, she began, we stand at a crossroads. The galaxy is vaster and more dangerous than we ever imagined, but it's also filled with wonders and potential allies. The Void Dominion is a threat, not just to us, but to all free peoples of the galaxy. We have the power to make a difference, to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves. She paused, looking out at the sea of faces before her. I propose that we reach out to other species to form an alliance against the Dominion. Humanity has always been at its best when we come together in the face of adversity. Let's extend that spirit of cooperation beyond the bounds of our world. As murmurs of agreement spread through the chamber, Alina knew that a new chapter in human history was beginning. The stars had once seemed out of reach, but now they were humanity's new frontier, full of both peril and promise. With the Lumina at their side and their formidable technology unveiled, humanity prepared to take its place among the stars. The Void Dominion had awakened a sleeping giant, and Alina Rice was ready to lead the charge into a new age of galactic exploration and defense. As she looked out at the stars from the observation deck of the newly christened Earth Defense Station Unity, Alina felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. The journey ahead would be challenging, but she had faith in humanity's ability to rise to the occasion. Whatever the galaxy had in store, they would face it together. The Galactic Stage. 6 months after the Horizon's fateful encounter with the Lumina and the Void Dominion, the galaxy was abuzz with news of humanity's dramatic entrance onto the interstellar scene. Captain Alina Rice stood on the bridge of the EDS Sentinel, Earth's newest and most advanced warship, as it approached the glittering space station that served as the headquarters for the newly formed Galactic Alliance. The Alliance, born out of humanity's call for unity against the Void Dominion, had grown rapidly. Species that had long suffered under the Dominion's oppression or lived in fear of their expansion saw an opportunity in Earth's powerful defensive technology and warrior spirit. "Quite a sight, isn't it, Captain?" Commander Jackson remarked, gazing at the sprawling station. Its design was a testament to the diverse beings that now called it home, a blend of architectural styles from a dozen different worlds. Alina nodded, a mix of pride and apprehension swirling in her chest. "It's more than I ever dreamed possible, Tom. But we've got our work cut out for us." As the Sentinel docked, Alina prepared herself for the summit that awaited her. Representatives from all Alliance species would be present, eager to discuss strategy and share intelligence on Void Dominion movements. The conference room was a cacophony of alien languages, all seamlessly translated by the advanced systems developed through collaboration between human and Lumina scientists. Alina took her seat, nodding to familiar faces, Zarak of the Lumina, Admiral Tanaka, and others she'd come to know over the past months. A hush fell over the room as Krelix, the Zentari diplomat who had been chosen to lead the Alliance, called the meeting to order. His crystalline form shimmered as he spoke. "Esteemed colleagues, we gather once more in the face of grave danger. The Void Dominion's attacks have intensified, and we've lost contact with the Pax Nebula colonies. We must decide on our course of action." Holographic displays sprang to life, showing the movement of Dominion fleets across the galaxy. Alina studied the patterns, her tactical mind already formulating strategies. "If I may," she said, standing to address the assembly. "The Dominion's push into the Pax Nebula suggests they're after the region's abundant Tylium deposits. If we can deny them those resources, we can significantly hamper their war effort." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the room, but Gornak, the brutish representative of the warrior Krull species, growled in dissent. "Pretty words, human, but how do you propose we stop them? Their fleets outnumber ours, and their weapons tear through our strongest shields." Alina allowed herself a small smile. "That's where Earth's latest breakthrough comes in. Admiral Tanaka, if you would." The Admiral activated a new holographic display, showing schematics for a sleek, almost predatory-looking ship. "Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Wraith-class stealth frigate. Combining Earth's cloaking technology with Lumina light-bending capabilities, these ships are virtually undetectable. They can slip past enemy lines, gather intelligence, and strike at critical targets before vanishing again." The room erupted in excited chatter. Alina could see the hope dawning in the eyes of the assembled representatives. For the first time, they had a weapon that could turn the tide against the seemingly unstoppable Dominion. Krelix raised his crystalline appendages for silence. "This is indeed a significant development. Captain Reyes, given your experience and the key role Earth has played, I believe you should lead the mission to the Pax Nebula. Do you accept this responsibility?" Elena straightened, feeling the weight of countless lives on her shoulders. "I do, Counselor. We'll assemble a task force immediately." As the meeting adjourned, Elena found herself surrounded by allies old and new, all eager to contribute to the upcoming mission. The Krell offered their fiercest warriors, the Centauri their unparalleled navigators, and the Lumina their energy specialists. Over the next week, an unprecedented fleet took shape. At its core were 3 of Earth's Wraith-class frigates, including the Sentinel. Supporting them was an assortment of ships from across the Alliance, swift Centauri scouts, powerful Krell battlecruisers, and Lumina light skimmers that danced between stars. As they prepared to depart, Elena addressed the assembled crews, her voice carried across the fleet by FTL communications. "Today, we embark on a mission that will shape the future of our galaxy. Each of us comes from a different world, with different histories and cultures. But we are united in our cause, to stand against tyranny and protect the freedom of all sentient beings. The Void Dominion believes that diversity is weakness, that only through uniformity can true power be achieved. We will prove them wrong. Our differences are our strength. Together, we will show them the true power of unity." Cheers echoed across the channels as the fleet jumped to light speed, bound for the embattled Pax Nebula. The journey took several days, even with the advanced FTL drives. Elena used the time to fine-tune their strategy and build rapport with the alien commanders. She was particularly impressed by Krellnak, Gornak's younger sister and leader of the Krell contingent. Despite her species' reputation for brute force, Krellnak showed a keen tactical mind that rivaled Elena's own. As they approached the nebula, the fleet dropped out of FTL, sensors straining to pierce the colorful gases that gave the region its name. The Sentinel's advanced systems, bolstered by Lumina technology, painted a grim picture. "Multiple Dominion capital ships detected," Lieutenant Zhang reported. "They've already established mining operations on at least 3 planets." Elena studied the tactical display, her mind racing. "All right, here's the plan. Wraith Squadron will cloak and infiltrate their defense perimeter. Once inside, we'll target their command and control nodes. Krellnak, I want your battle cruisers ready to jump in and hit them hard once we've sowed chaos in their ranks. Centauri scouts, you'll run interference and protect our support ships. Lumina skimmers, use the nebula's natural energy to amplify your attacks." As the Allied commanders acknowledged their orders, Elena felt a surge of pride. This was the culmination of months of cooperation and cultural exchange. Each species brought unique strengths to the battle, creating a whole far greater than the sum of its parts. "Wraith Squadron, engage cloaking devices," Elena commanded. The Sentinel and its sister ships shimmered and vanished from view, even as they accelerated towards the heart of the Dominion fleet. What followed was a masterclass in asymmetrical warfare. The Wraith frigates slipped between Dominion ships like ghosts, their advanced ECM suites confusing enemy sensors. Precision strikes from their energy lances took out communications arrays and weapon emplacements, leaving the massive Dominion vessels blind and vulnerable. Just as the enemy began to realize they were under attack, Krellnak's battlecruisers thundered into the fray. Their heavy weapons tore into the disoriented Dominion ships, while swarms of Centauri scouts harassed their fighter screens. Elena watched in awe as a squadron of Lumina light skimmers executed a maneuver that seemed to defy physics. They flew directly into the heart of the nebula, their hulls absorbing the ambient energy. When they emerged, they glowed like miniature suns, releasing devastating pulses that overloaded Dominion shields. "Captain," John called out, excitement in his voice, "we're detecting a massive energy spike from the Dominion flagship. I think it's their commander trying to activate some sort of super weapon." Elena's mind raced. If the Dominion had a weapon capable of turning the tide, everything they'd accomplished could be for nothing. She made a split-second decision. "All hands, brace for impact," she ordered. "We're going in." The Sentinel decloaked as Elena pushed its engines to the limit, charging straight for the Dominion flagship. Enemy point defense systems came to life, peppering the frigate's shields with energy bolts. "Divert all power to forward shields and weapons," Elena commanded. "Stand by to fire everything we've got on my mark." The Sentinel shuddered under the assault, but its lumina-enhanced shields held. As they closed in on the flagship, Elena saw the telltale glow of an immense energy weapon powering up. Fire! The Sentinel unleashed its full arsenal: energy lances, kinetic impactors, and a newly developed quantum disruptor. The flagship's shields buckled under the onslaught, and its hull cracked open like an egg. The energy building in its superweapon was released in a catastrophic overload, consuming the massive ship from within. As the flagship exploded in a brilliant flash, the remaining Dominion forces fell into disarray. Without their commander and with their surprise weapon neutralized, they had no choice but to retreat. Cheers erupted across the Alliance fleet as the last enemy ships jumped away. Elena allowed herself a moment of relief before turning her attention to the aftermath. "All ships, begin search and rescue operations. I want teams on those mining planets ASAP to liberate any prisoners and secure the Tylium deposits." In the days that followed, the true impact of their victory became clear. Not only had they denied the Dominion a critical resource, but the diverse tactics employed by the Alliance had caught the enemy completely off guard. News of the battle spread rapidly across the galaxy, inspiring hope in oppressed populations and drawing more species to the Alliance's banner. As Elena stood in the Sentinel's observation lounge, watching Allied ships secure the nebula, she reflected on how far they'd come. Humanity had entered the galactic stage as newcomers, untested and unknown. Now they stood as the linchpin of a growing alliance, their technology and adaptability proving crucial in the fight against the Dominion. But Elena knew this was just the beginning. The Void Dominion had suffered a significant defeat, but they were far from beaten. They would regroup, adapt, and come back stronger. The war for the galaxy's future was far from over. As if sensing her thoughts, Commander Jackson joined her at the window. "Hell of a fight, Captain. The brass back home is already calling it the Battle of Azure Dawn." Elena raised an eyebrow. "Poetic. I like it." "So," Jackson continued, "what's our next move?" Elena's gaze hardened as she stared out at the nebula, its swirling colors a reminder of the diverse alliance they'd forged. "We press our advantage. The Dominion is off balance, and we need to keep them that way. But more than that, we need to understand them. Why are they doing this? What drives them?" She turned to her old friend, determination etched on her face. "Prepare the ship, Tom. We're going hunting for answers." As Jackson nodded and left to carry out her orders, Elena allowed herself one last look at the hard-won Pax Nebula. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that the strength of the Alliance, the combined ingenuity, courage, and diversity of a dozen species, would be the key to facing them. The Sentinel's engines hummed to life, ready to carry them into the next chapter of their galactic struggle. Elena Reyes, once a simple exploration captain, now a symbol of humanity's rise and the Alliance's hope, stood ready to meet it head-on. Battle for the Nexus. The vast expanse of space seemed to hold its breath as the EDS Sentinel dropped out of FTL on the outskirts of the Althera system. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the tactical display showing their target. The Nexus, a massive space station that served as a hub for faster-than-light travel across multiple sectors of the galaxy. "Status report," Elena commanded, her voice steady despite the tension that hung in the air. Lieutenant Zhang's fingers danced across his console. "Scans confirm heavy Void Dominion presence around the Nexus, Captain. At least 3 capital ships and numerous support vessels." Commander Jackson frowned. They must have realized the strategic importance of the station. Whoever controls the Nexus controls the flow of ships and information across this entire quadrant. Elena nodded grimly. "And that's why we can't let them keep it. Hail the fleet. It's time to put our plan into action." As the Allied ships of the Galactic Alliance moved into position, Alina reflected on the audacity of their mission. The plan to capture the Nexus had been months in the making, combining intelligence gathered from their Wraith-class stealth missions with the unique capabilities of each species in the Alliance. The comm channel crackled to life, and the faces of the various Allied commanders appeared on screen. Krelnak's scared visage dominated one corner, while the serene features of Zarak shimmered in another. The crystalline form of Sylith, the Zentari tactical genius, sparkled in the center. "My friends," Alina began, "today we strike a blow that could turn the tide of this war. The Nexus isn't just a strategic asset, it's a symbol. By taking it, we show the galaxy that the Void Dominion can be beaten, that freedom and cooperation will always triumph over oppression and fear." She paused, making eye contact with each of her allies. "We've trained for this. We've bled for this. Now, let's make it count. Initiate Operation Starfall." The Alliance fleet burst into action, each group executing their part of the carefully orchestrated plan. The Krell battlecruisers charged forward, their heavy weapons pounding the Dominion's outer defenses. Zentari scout ships darted between the larger vessels, their advanced ECM suites wreaking havoc on enemy targeting systems. Meanwhile, Alina and the other Wraith-class frigates activated their cloaking devices, slipping undetected through the chaos of the battle. Their mission was perhaps the most crucial: to infiltrate the Nexus itself and seize control from within. As the Sentinel glided silently towards the massive station, Alina felt a familiar mix of exhilaration and dread. This was what she had trained for, what humanity had stepped onto the galactic stage to accomplish. Yet the weight of responsibility, for her crew, for the Alliance, for the very future of the galaxy, pressed heavily upon her. "We're approaching the Nexus's primary docking ring," John reported. "No sign that they've detected us." Alina nodded. "Prepare boarding teams. Remember, we need to take control of the central hub with minimal damage. This station is no good to us if we destroy it in the process." As the Sentinel latched onto the Nexus, other cloaked Alliance ships were doing the same at different points around the station. It was a synchronized dance of stealth and precision, the culmination of months of planning and preparation. Alina led the first boarding team herself, her pulse rifle at the ready as they breached the airlock. The interior of the Nexus was a marvel of engineering, with soaring ceilings and pulsing energy conduits that seemed to defy conventional physics. But there was no time to admire the view. The sound of approaching Void Dominion troops echoed through the corridors. "Team Argus, secure the power core," Alina ordered into her comm. "Team Helios, head for the communication hub. We'll take the central control room." The next hours were a blur of intense combat and high-stakes hacking. Alina's team fought their way through waves of Dominion soldiers, their tactics constantly adapting to the unique environment of the station. At one point, they found themselves in a zero-gravity section, using magnetic boots and grappling lines to maneuver while exchanging fire with the enemy. Throughout it all, Alina was acutely aware of the larger battle raging outside. Occasional shudders ran through the station as Dominion and Alliance capital ships exchanged fire. The comm channel buzzed with updates from the other teams and the fleet commanders. "Power core secured," came the welcome news from Team Argus. "We're rerouting systems to lock out Dominion access. Communication hub is ours," Team Helios reported shortly after. "We're jamming their distress calls and sending out a false all-clear signal." Alina allowed herself a small smile. The plan was working, but the hardest part was yet to come. As they approached the central control room, they encountered the stiffest resistance yet. A squad of Dominion elite guards, their armor gleaming with a light-absorbing material that seemed to swallow energy weapon fire, blocked their path. "Jackson, Zarak," Alina called out. "Execute Maneuver Epsilon." What followed was a dazzling display of human ingenuity and Lumina light manipulation. Jackson tossed a specially designed grenade that erupted in a blinding flash, momentarily overloading the Dominion troops' visual sensors. In that instant, Zarak bent the light around Alina and two of her team members, rendering them practically invisible. The Dominion guards, still reeling from the flash, never saw the attack coming. Elena and her cloaked team members slipped behind their lines, taking them out with precision shots and hand-to-hand combat before they could react. With the last obstacle cleared, they burst into the control room. The Void Dominion commander, a towering figure with skin as dark as the space between stars, whirled to face them. His eyes widened in a mixture of shock and rage. "Impossible," he snarled. "How did you?" Elena cut him off with a well-placed stun blast. As he crumpled to the floor, she strode to the central console. "This is Captain Reyes. We have control of the Nexus. Initiate lockdown procedures and prepare for Phase 2. Outside, the battle took a decisive turn. With the Nexus's formidable defenses now under Alliance control, the remaining Dominion ships found themselves caught in a deadly crossfire. Krellnak's battlecruisers pressed their advantage, their weapons tearing through enemy shields with ruthless efficiency. The Lumina light skimmers performed intricate maneuvers that seemed to bend the very fabric of space, confusing Dominion targeting systems and leaving them vulnerable to precise strikes from Zentari sniper ships. It was a symphony of destruction, each species playing its part to perfection. As the last Dominion capital ship fell silent, its hull breached and venting atmosphere, a cheer went up across the Alliance fleet. They had done it. The Nexus, one of the most strategically valuable assets in the quadrant, was theirs. But Elena knew the real work was just beginning. As Alliance ships began docking with the Nexus, she gathered her team and the other squad leaders in the station's vast conference room. The holographic displays came to life, showing the full extent of their prize. "Ladies and gentlemen," Elena began, "what we've accomplished here today is nothing short of miraculous. But it's also just the first step. The Nexus isn't just a strategic asset. It's a treasure trove of information. With the data stored in these databanks, we may finally be able to understand the Void Dominion's true motives and find a way to end this war." Hekshalith, the Zentari tactical expert, stepped forward. His crystalline form shimmered as he spoke. "Captain Reyes is correct. Our preliminary analysis of the Nexus's databanks has already yielded fascinating results. It appears the Void Dominion's expansion is driven by more than simple conquest. They seem to be searching for something. Ancient artifacts of immense power scattered across the galaxy." A murmur ran through the assembled leaders. Zarak's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with excitement. "This aligns with legends among my people, stories of a precursor race that seeded the galaxy with technology beyond our comprehension." Elena's mind raced with the implications. So the Dominion's attacks, their seemingly random pattern of conquest, all part of a larger search pattern. Sylith confirmed. "They believe these artifacts hold the key to unimaginable power, perhaps even the ability to reshape reality itself." The room fell silent as the weight of this revelation sank in. The war they had been fighting was more than a battle for territory or resources. It was a race to claim power that could alter the very fabric of the universe. Krellnak, her scared face set in a determined scowl, broke the silence. "Then we must find these artifacts first. We cannot allow such power to fall into the hands of the Dominion." Elena nodded, but a part of her wondered, could any species, even the Alliance, be trusted with such power? She pushed the thought aside for now. They had more immediate concerns. "Agreed. But first, we need to secure the Nexus and prepare for the Dominion's inevitable counterattack. They won't take this loss lightly." As the meeting adjourned and the various leaders set about their tasks, Elena found a quiet moment to stare out one of the Nexus's massive viewports. The station slowly rotated, giving her a panoramic view of the aftermath of the battle. Alliance ships moved purposefully through the debris field, searching for survivors and salvageable technology. Commander Jackson joined her, his face etched with a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. "Quite a view, isn't it? Hard to believe just a few hours ago this was enemy territory." Elena nodded, her eyes fixed on the stars beyond. "We've won a great victory today, Tom. But I can't help feeling that we've also opened a Pandora's box. The power the Dominion is searching for. It could be the salvation of the galaxy or its doom. Jackson placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. Humanity, the Lumina, the Krell, the Zentari, all of us. That's the real power of the Alliance. As if to emphasize his point, a group of engineers walked by. A human and a Lumina working together to repair a damaged console, while a Krell warrior stood guard and a Zentari analyst pored over data streams. Elena felt a surge of pride and determination. Whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever ancient powers or Dominion schemes they might face, the diversity and unity of the Alliance would be their greatest strength. She straightened, squaring her shoulders. You're right, Tom. We've got work to do. Let's make sure this nexus lives up to its name. The center of a new era of peace and cooperation for the entire galaxy. As they turned to leave, Elena cast one last glance at the star-filled vista. The battle for the Nexus was over, but the war for the galaxy's future was entering a new, more dangerous phase. With the weight of countless lives and the fate of entire civilizations resting on her shoulders, Captain Elena Reyes strode forward, ready to meet whatever challenges the universe might throw their way.